Back at it.
Yay, yay. Figure it the fuck out.
It's the Chief, Kaseek Ortiz.
And Tyrant333. We in the building.
Yes, sir.
So we had another interesting one for you today. Boys and girls. No, but for real, we got a good one for you today.
Days and thems.
We're sitting here, we're going to talk about the game. Just the game in general. And this could extend to multiple industries here we're about to touch on. So I guess the main issue or the main topic is gatekeeping. And how do y'all feel about that? People gatekeeping in different industries, whether it be music, business, whether your boss is gatekeeping you from getting to the next level at your corporate position or at Walmart, wherever you work. Shout out to them. But yeah, we want to talk about that because there's certain people in positions who feel like information needs to be suppressed or it needs to be given in rations or at different levels, things like that. And there's other people who feels like it should be free public knowledge, free public information. There should be just a vast sharing of information, and that's how it should go. Pass it down. So I'm gonna let you break into that one first.
Yeah, I personally ride on the side of I'm not too fond of the gatekeeping. Being an artist, and I'll speak from an artist standpoint, I never really had like the OGs or somebody really looking out to give me the information that I needed to be able to succeed. And the ones that did, I've used their information. And I'll use like my story coming up, like I went to a bigger studio and the guy loved what it was that I was doing so much, and he could tell that I was so hungry for it that he ended up just teaching me how to basically record myself, what kind of microphones, what's a dynamic, what's a condenser, what's a mic stand, which one to go with, software, interfaces. He didn't like hide the information from me. He's basically teaching me college type shit, but for free. He was like, yo, I believe in you. You clearly believe in this music, and I want to teach you. He didn't gatekeep the information. He just gave it to me. And I've kind of always used that as like a paying it forward that I like to I'm not really hip to the whole gatekeeping, and I understand that certain things should be kind of gradually given to people because if you give them too much, they don't really know what to do with it anyways. So don't really waste your time. But I personally like just giving the information out. It's if you want to do something, like if you truly want to do something, you're going to do it. Whether that be marketing, advertisement, being an artist, whatever it is that you want to do, you're going to make sure that you can do it. I'd rather be the guy that's like, hey, I already went through the bullshit. I can actually tell you what to do and what not to do. And then you can take whatever the sauce is and make it your own sauce and find out what works for you. I don't really like gatekeeping information. I'd rather just tell people like, yo, I used the blah, 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 and here's this and here's that. Here's what I did. You can't really copy and paste.
It's always good to have the OG there that looks out for you too and gives you this knowledge that, would really help your life and your situation
right.
At a young age. Having mentors, having people you look up to as a boy turning into a man, that's imperative. So I would say that's something that I would take out of what you definitely just said there as far as the gatekeeping. But also he must have seen something in you for him to even want to spend that time on you.
Yeah, I'm sure that I'm not the only one. Like I'm probably one of the only ones that he was going to be willing to do that for. Everybody else, maybe he was thinking the game is to be sold and not told. And I do respect that in that avenue, but me personally, I would. And that kind of goes for me too. Like not every client that I work with, like we said in other episodes, I don't work with just anybody. I actually have to kind of enjoy the music that you're doing. I have to know that I can help you and make you a better artist and make your music sound better in order for me to want to work with you. If I can't do that, I'm literally going to send you to somewhere else. But I could also gatekeep that information. And rather that, a lot of artists or a lot of engineers will do that. Whereas instead of, somebody's out here that could do a better job than you, but you're so money hungry and so interested in gatekeeping that you'd rather just take that person's money.
Yeah.
I'll give it to your brother. At the end of the day, some of the people that he was working with, they were kind of gatekeeping a situation because they were stunting his growth. And they just kept taking his money and he wasn't really getting better.
I don't agree with that. That to me is more than gatekeeping. That's sabotage. when you're working with somebody and you don't let them grow because you don't want them to pass a certain level, because or whatever level you might be at, deeper. Or what your image is, what your image is perceived of them.
That could be much deeper than,
Yeah, like it's not even, you're not even just holding back information at that point. You're physically doing stuff or putting things in place, situations in place so that that person just literally can't do anything or make it or stuff, or progress, whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But that's like a whole different type of...
I guess you're right. That's a little bit deeper than, like I said, if I know I can't help a situation, I let the people know, like, hey, you can go over here and this might help you better. Maybe that's just because we're talking about the subject of gatekeeping, that I look at it as, or I carry that type of, that morale into pretty much everything that I do. When I was doing offer-based studio work, which I veered away from to a certain degree. Not that I wouldn't do it again, but I think the communication I need some work on that before I can just give it to somebody for cheaper or whatever the case may be. And it's not really cheaper. You say offer-based, people automatically assume cheaper, but it's really not cheaper.
Yeah, and also going into that, like the offer-based, it can work I feel like it can work if it's a component of what you do, but it can't be the main way. Like people want a set price. They want to see numbers. Numbers are powerful too. They bring, that's a whole nother conversation, but they bring certain energies attached to them. So if you put a set price on that, people are going to be either attracted or detracted to that number. And this is stuff I've learned as I've it's part of wisdom. But when you put that number out there and you set your price, that lets people know what you value your work at, and where it comes to the pay to play or the offer based, a lot of people, especially when you're talking to people who don't value themselves that highly, they're going to say, "Oh, I'll pay you $5 or I'll pay you $20."
Right.
So you come into that issue, and
which is why offer based was a situation where you can get turned down. It was like, that's the thing, was when I said offer based, I was turning down a whole lot more than I was taking.
Yeah, which is good, But then, all right, so I'm going to put a little play on that now.
Yeah.
So, and not to just irritate the hell out of you, but so with the offer base, if you don't take on the client, then when you said it was offer based, then are you gatekeeping?
No, because it's a fee that I'm not really willing to work with because my value is so much more.
Okay, yeah.
I have no problem.
And that, like, then to the serious artist, it kind of can become a little confusing as like, oh, like, all right, what do I pay this dude? Like, or I could overpay this dude. Like, I got 10,000 on me right now. I'm going to give him 2,000. Like,
yeah, they should. So, if they feel like their music is worth it and the shit that I'm doing for them is worth it, yeah. They should be paying that.
They should, but like, they should, and obviously, that's coming into where your evaluation is. But sometimes people don't value that person the same, especially if it's a high number, but they like to see the high number. Like, like someone could, even if 50 Cent came up to me tomorrow and was like, "Yo, dog, give me $1 million and I'm gonna make this happen for you," I'd still be like, one, because shit, I don't got $1 million in the bank right then. So that makes you just think about it in general. But two, it's just hard to hand someone that amount of money if you've never done it before.
Right.
Like if that person's never handed anyone 1,000, they haven't even spent 1,000 on marketing their music or on even getting their music recorded before anywhere.
Right.
It's hard for them to even fathom that.
And I agree. But to that agreeance is that like I'm literally like where you meet me at in the studio this is square one. So it's not like you're meeting me on the marketing level. Marketing doesn't really happen until you already have you already bought the beat, you already recorded it, mixed it, mastered it. You're actually literally, I'm meeting you right at the first phase of your music. You decided to do music, so you decided to buy a beat. Now what do you gotta do? I'm literally the person you have to go to in order to reach to the next level of, I want to make a music video. I want to put it on distribution. Like you have to go through me first before you even get like,
and
through those other steps.
I like how you move on that, but I also feel like it's a little bit of like gatekeeping in a way.
How?
Like you're not going to do that with anybody. That's the point. It's not free. It's not just like, and also you're going to be, let's just put it for what it is. You're going to be more inclined to do that for somebody who has some type of skin in the game, who you work closely with. Like,
no, because I've dropped my information. I'll let you finish that, but I've already dropped my information on people that were not serious. I just got tired of, that's why I even said in the beginning of gatekeeping is that giving people something gradually, because I've been in those situations where an artist like that could just come through, sit down. I just dropped mad gems to them, and now I just spoke alien. And now they don't even know what to do. Like I almost gave them too much information that they didn't know
brain overload.
What step to take. So I'm not necessarily gatekeeping. I'm going to give them the information. It's just I'd rather give it to them like a slower speeding in that sense because, like I said, I can kind of gauge in a conversation like, hey, if I drop all this information on you, you're going to be like, you might quit rapping. And I'm not necessarily trying to make people quit rapping or quitting music. I want to be like, hey, try this step first. Once you complete that step, tell me you're done. Like baby steps. I walk them through the baby steps, but then I'll always give out all the information.
Me, I kind of, I came up off hard mafia principles of if you ain't family, fuck you. So you come to me as a stranger, and this is something I work on, but you come to me as a stranger, I'm not going to just give you any information. Right. And that's just me. Like, that's where I guess I agree with the gatekeeping. And I also stand on the side of not everyone deserves every piece of information because with great power comes great responsibility. Yeah. And some of these people take this information that was literally designed for people to hit to the top or was passed down for people who are at the top. They take it and they treat it like it's trash. Yeah. Because they got it because it was free. What they valued was free. Right. If you make them pay for it, then they put skin in the game. And then now there's a paywall behind it. And now that it's regulated more. It's
regulated, but there's still people that are going to pay for that information and still do
that. Yeah. They're going to pay for it. And then all of a sudden act like they're the next big thing. And then they came up with the information. And that's why people get different things, like even further walls in place, like gatekeeping with NDAs and stuff like that. Right, right. So that's a whole nother line of business and a conversation to go down. But I just agree. See, I agree with it to a point. Like if you're a stranger, yes, there's probably going to be some gatekeeping that might happen from me. I'm not going to just give you any information. Also, if you've never spent no money on the dream, even supported, which is free. Right. Something like that. Had a good conversation with me. Of course. There's people who have fostering relationships who get information that other people can't get because they can go and speak to the right person at the right time, network with the right person, or get a very powerful person to like them, to give them information. So that happens all the time. So, but you can't, as the person who has that special information, just give that out to anybody. You gotta, impress me with the speech. We gotta be on some type of bond, some type of energy. We got to be family with that or those type of people. Then I kind of go on the other side of things. It's like, all right, any information, and I kind of annoy my people with this. They can all attest to this. Like, I get information, and I just give it out, like right to the people that, if you're in my circle, I'm feeding you information. Like, if I get it, as soon as I get it on inception, I'm trying to get it to you. And if I know it can help your situation, I'm also thinking about you. Like, yo, this might not apply to me, but you might be able to run with this or use this in some type of way. Like it's on the reverse when you're in that crew and you're in that circle or we're locked in like that. Right. And that to me takes time at least. At the very least, it takes some time. There's people who've walked in these doors who they want it all in the first week of me knowing them. Yeah. It never happens like that. And every time I am glad I didn't just give them all my information off the first conversation. And I've been there. I've been there where I've seen that people would try to ask you for certain things, but it doesn't necessarily go their way because they either need to pay for your time or consulting or take certain steps, and then they crash out. They try to use the gift of gab on me, which I can see that from a mile away. Right. And to get me to give them more information, just keep talking about this. Yeah. And they haven't really even spent for studio time. Yeah. They have never booked nothing with us, never marketed, never even showed up in none of the shows, nothing. But you want me to keep giving you this information. Those are the same people who turn around and, it's fuck GGF, it's fuck these people over there for no reason. That's funny because it's like their own misery. It kind of happens when you, I guess,
in that sense, kind of get involved with that person. I never really had the issue because most of the people, I literally tell them like, oh, hey, this is what I have. This is the equipment that I use. You could get it too, or you can get this. I like even when I record clients, like my most recent client, I won't put his name out there, but he hit me up and he sent me, yo, I have this microphone and I have this interface. Is this an okay setup? I was like, yeah, as long as you do this and you do this, you can still be able to make it work. It's not going to sound like you recorded it here. So if you have that in your brain, like, oh, it's going to sound like Kaseek Ortiz did that, that's not happening. But to get you started, that can get you up and running. You know, and I'll let them know, like, hey, if you can, you know, start with that, but then invest into this. I'm always I look at like my life as being like a village. You know what I'm saying? I said, I'm the chief of the tribe. In order to have my tribe, I'm looking at people as a part of my tribe. So if, the same way that you're looking at it, as it takes time for somebody to be, I guess, considered in your inner circle that way, where I almost kind of just give it as if you're, I'm looking at you as a human being, like, yo, you need help too.
And I see that side of things too. And as I progress and as ascend as a man, I'm going to look at that person like, like there's going to be a time where I look at someone in a worse position than me, and I still do it now. But here and there, selectively, like if I see someone in a less fortunate situation,
right,
I'll give them some information that might have just changed their life. They don't even know it. You know, I do that now on the business tip of things. Like people, I'll give them a $1 million idea. But you got, like you said, at the end of the day, you got to have the ambition to go make that happen.
You have to want it and you have to put in that work. Maybe it's because I was homeless. That's the way I look at certain things. So like, I have a different, it's weird because like everybody around me, it's funny because I come from a world where it's like, I also don't really like people either. Yeah. You know, a lot of people just don't like other people. But when I was homeless, what I did learn about other people is that there's actually a lot of good people out there that will see you and look up, well, not look up to you, but they'll look down to you to help you up. And I've said it a few times in our pod, like this whole series of the podcasting shit that we're doing is that if I'm ever looking down at somebody, I plan on helping them up. And I really kind of got that from being homeless because when I was homeless, that's when I seen who was my true friend, who was really supportive, like who didn't care if I worked or who didn't care about the money. They cared for me as an actual human being and they did something about it. And those people I always cherish in me. So like in my way of paying it forward, I like to just give the information. I'm always trying to help somebody up. I never look down unless I'm helping up. So even when an artist, I know we have a recording studio on Main Street, and there's a lot of artists out there that literally wish they could be in this position. I was one of those artists that was wishing I could be in the position I'm in. So when I think about, if I talk to somebody, I almost see myself in that person.
Yeah.
I was already willing to give you the information anyways, but if I, see myself into you, I'll probably even help you out along your way.
Let's talk about on the reverse side of things then, or the people that we did feel that way towards, the people we did help, the people we looked at like, yo, if we give them a couple pieces of gems here, they're going to take it over here. They're going to take it to the top. We talk to these people till our faces blue.
Yep.
And then they do nothing with it.
Yep.
They do not, like you got to use it. Shout out to 19 Keys and them. I saw that on that podcast, that OG. That was the main thing that hit me. And that was like the key headline that keeps playing over and over. You got to use it.
Yeah. Just about everybody I've spoke to or that we spoke to has basically phased out. There's only one person that actually might do what it is that I said.
So that makes me almost like kind of want to gatekeep even more because it's like, what about the hours? We've said it before. Time is our biggest asset. Yeah. What about the hours and time you put in with these people for them to just not use it? Or on the even worse side, they go and they start acting like a fake op all of a sudden or something. Yep. Like, or act like they came up with the idea, the information, which is fine, but just, pay a little respect and homage at least to the people you were fucking with when all that.
I definitely agree with that, but being a life path 8 and knowing that karma, and I am the karma, is that like, I can never, I guess you could say, I can never really control how these people are going to act afterwards. But I know for a fact that going into it, whether I was at a gain or a loss, no matter how you view it, I'm actually still winning because I'm the one that I'm already breeding good karma to come right back to me. I might have gave you all the information and then you treated me like shit and you went out there and bashed my name and ran it through the mud and said XYZ about me or my team. But then yet you're the one that has to go to sleep with that.
Yeah.
I don't have to. I sleep good. I was a genuine person from the get.
Yeah. So
I couldn't help with the
Karma
people that were
definitely
acting
is
like
real.
snakes or they were acting some type of shady way with me. Like, that's on them. That's not on me. I never gatekept anything. I never gatekept anything. I've always been outspoken and give the information. Like, if you really want to succeed, I'll show you how to succeed. But then you still have to put the work in, like you were saying. And I agree that we did lose a lot of hours. And while I bring it up, you know, I did say that I feel like there's only one person that might actually do something. And I didn't say his name, but I want to. And that would be low key. And that's like even more of a fire starter. Because if he happens to watch this shit, he needs to understand that I've gave him a whole lot of information that he needs to either run with it or fold with it. And it's okay as long as you find your place. But out of everybody else, nobody was really doing shit.
Information is so valuable. It's so key. It can change a life. It can change a situation. It can change a mindset. So just remember how important it really is, and do the right thing with information. It's something that, man, it can make your destiny or break it.
It can.
And with that being said, you know, going back to why I feel like it's even more important for me to gatekeep in this time. You know, everything is time sensitive, I guess.
I do agree with that.
Yesterday's price is not today's price. We've said that many times. But in this moment in time in my life, and especially, I feel like like he was saying, we both have put in a lot of time into people, and that's been great. We'll continue to do that when we have the time. But right now, the main priority is myself, this team, this family, putting people in position. Let's reach our full maximum potential, because you cannot help someone if you haven't helped yourself.
Right.
You can't love someone if you don't love yourself. So the best thing you could do for your family, your friends, your crew is to become the best version of yourself. And that's for real. It sounds corny, whatever you want to say. But that's the best thing you can do, is go out there, feed yourself so that you can get to a point and have resources. Then you can reach out and help the little guy, and it ain't nothing. But if you're trying to rub two pennies together, you can't go give a penny to the next person.
Right.
And sometimes you have $1 million idea and you give them to people, they don't use them. What if you sat on the idea and used it for yourself?
Right.
Then you're making your situation move a lot faster. So sometimes when you're not where you're supposed to be, you got to use all that energy and those $1 million golden ideas, use them on yourself. And then you can have a case study on top of that for these people, like, yo, look what I just did with this idea.
Right. That's usually what I do. If nobody believes in what it is that I'm trying to do, I end up just doing it, and then I send it back to y'all. I'll send it to y'all in the group chat and be like, yo, you see,
that's real belief. Shit. That's something tangible you can see. That,
right.
You know, people can talk about stuff all day, but when you see that person going and doing what they just talked about, that brings something else up. And
I used to jokingly hit up the group chat and be like, what y'all doing today? Everybody might be like, oh, I got to work, or I got to do this, or I got to do that. And I'd be like, yo, quit that shit.
Yep.
It came to a point where I was like, you know what? I'm going to quit my job. I'm going to show y'all I'm going to quit my job and I'm going to just do this shit.
Yeah. Doing it and create inspiration off that action, doing.
Right.
It's a great thing.
Leading by the example. And then if I succeed with it, at least, you know, now I have something to show for it. But even when I fail for it, I still am succeeding because now I showed you.
Yeah.
Even my L's, the only way you could take an L is that there was a win to be had. If there was no win to be had, nobody's taking L's. So any L I took is still a win to me because I'm working towards something.
Yeah.
A lot of people aren't even trying to work towards anything. They're not even trying to wake up. They're not even really trying to put the shots up.
And that's how you'll figure out a lot of information too. And that's what they call wisdom. Again, you gain that through experience.
Yeah. Failing
forward, figuring it the fuck out. And that's what we're doing here today. But, you know, that's our thoughts on gatekeeping. You know, we're a little bit on both sides. We like giving out knowledge. We love to help people. We love to see people win. But you also got to see yourself win. You got to be a little bit selective at times on who you let into information, because sometimes it's a double agent looking to get your information and act like they came up with it or to use it against you.
Right.
You know, so just be careful with your time. Be careful with your energy.
We'll say it too.
Feed your team, feed your people, feed your family, and let's figure it the fuck out.